Hi everyone, and welcome to the Landscapes of Art and Earth. I'm your host, Shivani Gupta, and in this show, we will be having conversations with artists and environmentalists who can inform and connect us to some of the most important topics in our world today. Today, we are joined by incredibly accomplished and inspiring painter and illustrator Ellen Anderson. Ellen began her artistic career as a fine art student in high school and then at Rockford University. After college, her art took the direction of illustration, where she worked in watercolor and gouache to build a greeting card line from 1992 to 2005. It sold up to 250,000 cards around the country annually, one of her clients being the National Wildlife Federation. She also made illustrations for 15 published children's books. A little over a decade ago, Ellen transitioned into oil painting on larger scale canvases. Her studio is based on the Milwaukee River in Mequon, Wisconsin. Her current themes are scenes of nature in Wisconsin in the series Midwest Nature and women in the series Wise Women. Her work is in public and private collections, including Outpost Foods, Remington's River Inn, and Hearthstone Community. In the past, her work has exhibited in Berner Gardens and the Wisconsin Wildlife Biennial, to name a few. She's been awarded by Plymouth Arts Center and the annual juried exhibition of the Cedarburg Artists Guild. In addition to art making, Ellen has been very involved in her community. She was the president of the Cedarburg Artists Guild in 2021 and 2022 and a board member for 8 years, and is a member of Wisconsin Visual Artists. She is also a mother of 3 children. I'm honored and excited to have her as our guest today. Ellen, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, I'd love to get started. So, my first question I'd love to start out with is how and when did you first become an artist, and why did you become an artist?
Well, I started out very young. I loved to draw when I was small, and I was not particularly talented, but I just kept drawing, and I think I got a lot of positive feedback for it. So that's how I really got started as very young in art.
That's amazing. And so that positive feedback, it continued into high school, and that continued into your career.
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
How has your artistic focus and process evolved since the start of your journey?
Oh, well, so in college, I was actually a print major. And of course, when you get out, there's not like a large press you can use. So I had transitioned to watercolor. And then I started out as an illustrator more. And I had a greeting card firm for over 15 years, which was real tight and small and illustrative. And then I wanted to work larger. So I started oil painting. And my life went around illustrating for work to support my family and for enjoyment and that kind of thing. And then it's evolved to where I feel like I can use my art to speak to certain issues.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'd love to ask you about starting with the Midwest Nature series, which focuses on landscapes in the Midwest, where does your inspiration come from? And do you visit these places? Do you imagine them, or is it a combination? And how do you find these places?
I'm sorry, what was the last part?
How do you find these places?
Oh, I just love exploring around. I like hiking around and looking at all these, natural areas and preserves that we have. We have some national, actually, migratory route preserves like Horicon in Wisconsin, and all these places give me inspiration. And I'm not an artist that goes out in the field and interprets in the field, a plein air artist. I go around and look at these sites and take it back to my studio.
Is there a recent location that you visited?
Oh, just recently. Well, I live right on the Milwaukee River, so I'm always early in the morning going up and down the river. We have a tiny pontoon boat. It's more like a Huck Finn boat that is silent and has non-polluting electric motor, so it doesn't scare the animals. And we just up and down, and you can really spot we have great blue herons and green herons and kingfishers and deer. I just saw a fawn swimming across the river last week. Every kind of animal is, on the Midwest, animals on the river here. So that's been my latest foray. Yeah.
That sounds amazing and an incredible way to start the morning. And then could you possibly walk me through your process of painting one of your Midwest Nature series paintings?
Sure. Like I say, I don't paint out in the field, so I bring my ideas back with me. And I think through all my years as an illustrator, I am very comfortable kind of recreating what I see. And so I will often see a certain sunset or a certain light or a certain water, a look on the water that I want to bring to life in a painting, and I will start out specifically that way. Other times I am a abstract artist starting out. I tend to work at a 24 by 36 inch size canvas right now, and I will take a paintbrush like painters use on the house, like a 4-inch brush, and I'll start out with just slapping paint on, and it's very much fun and very abstract. And then inevitably I see something in that brings to mind something I've seen naturally, and then inevitably my mind I bring it into more like an illustrative view.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. That sounds like an amazing and a very fulfilling process.
It's very fun because I love playing with color and I love playing with light and just the depth of the darks and what's going on the canvas is very exciting. And so it's not like you have an image in mind, like you're gonna create a this or that necessarily, but it is fun. Yeah.
That makes sense. So it's kind of like you paint as you go. The image comes to you as you go.
Yes, it's kind of unusual that way. I don't sketch out painting. Yeah.
It's very interesting. And then could you also walk me through how you paint your Wise Women series paintings, your process for those ones?
Sure. The Wise Women series came about. I really wanted to go through my feelings about women and the way they're being treated right now. And there's kind of a takeaway of the women, of course, the rights of women and women's strengths and that are threatened, I feel like, in America and in a lot of other places. And I wanted to bring this to canvas. And I should say it also equates to the nature paintings I'm doing. They're kind of in the same genre where that's why I'm doing these paintings of nature. We'll go into that later. But the women are all people that I know and love from the Midwest here. And I don't ask them what their background would like to be. A lot of people would like to be painted with their dog or their cat or something. But no, I choose the backgrounds, which are kind of a little bit fantastical, but you can't really, I feel, express somebody's whole nature in a painting very easily. So I just try to pick out aspects, and often what comes out are connections to nature, actually, with a lot of the women, because we're kind of all rolled into one. But I want these women to be a powerful statement of their strength and their intelligence, their wisdom, and what women bring to the world here. It's very important at this time.
Absolutely. What is your, or actually, so most recently so there was the Art and Climate Gallery through the National Climate Assessment, and you submitted one of your Wise Women paintings. Cheryl, could you tell us a little more about this artwork?
Sure. Cheryl is a friend of mine that I used to work with, and she has overcome a lot of challenges in her personal life. She's depicted standing out of the city of Milwaukee in a point of like over the city of Milwaukee. I wanted to depict her like, oh, I got this. That's why her environment is more urban, and I think I was thinking at the time of the strength it takes for men and women to overcome often the challenges economically and environmentally in the urban setting. So, yeah. Mhm.
That makes a lot of sense. And how long did it take you to make that painting?
Oh, well, I can't work straight through on any painting, but I would say each painting of the women takes me about a month or so. Yeah, over time, it's a process. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
So I'd love to ask, so you mentioned how it's there's kind of a connection between both of your series, Midwest Nature and Wise Women. And when you paint the fantastical backgrounds or scenes of the women and wise women, nature comes about. So I'd love to ask you, does the concept of ecofeminism inspire your work?
Yes, I wasn't familiar with that term until just recently, but yes. So I think that we have two issues here that I've been working with over the last, well, 10 years at least for the environmental paintings and the last 5 years for the women paintings, where we have two things here, the environment and women that are both under threat in a lot of ways through what's going on socially and in the politically the climate right now. And it's really important that I think we honor and highlight these things. And some people are real adept at doing that by being politicians or Congress people or going out there and saying that kind of thing or being speakers or something like that. But as an artist, my way of doing that is on the canvas. And I think by my paintings, which you might look at and just think, oh, this is just a wonderful, painting of nature. They are more than that to me. It's a painting that somebody invites in their house, and it's inviting themselves into the environment. And when I see a natural environment, like if I'm painting, say, a deer in the forest or whatever, it's not that old-fashioned idea of a stag that the prey, the stag. When I paint it, I actually feel I'm the deer. I feel I am the forest, and I think if we all felt more that way, and I think that's what attracts people to my paintings is the most people say is that I feel like I'm in the painting. And that's what I kind of want to bring with my art is to say, you are here. This is us and we're all one. This is really important right now that we understand that. And the women issue is the same thing. With the women paintings, I just want to highlight over and over with each woman, just that strength and wisdom. And this is half the earth. If we destroy or hinder or, limit what's going on with women, we're hurting ourselves, and the whole planet. So it's very important. Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense, and I completely agree. And when you I think whenever I see your paintings, I absolutely feel immersed in the scene and like I'm in a new world. Um,
Oh, thank you.
and I'd love to ask, has your relationship with nature always been like this? Did it develop like this, or how long have you had this relationship with nature for, or how has it developed?
I think probably since a small child. I grew up in a deep woods and then out in the countryside after that. And right now we live across from a preserve and then right on the river on the other side of us. And I don't know, I've always felt this connection. Before I did these paintings, for 15 years, I was doing the illustration with the greeting cards, which was real whimsical art. And even that, it's that ability in child fantasy art, which is a lot of what I was doing, to think that you are the squirrel in the tree playing a harp made out of twigs, or whatever, that you are that being. And with illustration, it's kind of a anthropomorphic thing where you feel you're the animal that way. But this has evolved more into a more serious topic, I guess. Where because it's we're in a really serious situation here with the the ecological state of the world.
Absolutely. That makes sense. Oh, so one common theme in your work is that you don't include barns, fences, roads, or other human contact imagery. So what inspired you to make your artwork this way?
Without them, I find a certain peace in just nature itself. It's kind of a vacation from people. And I love people. I'm quite social, but I think that's what hopefully other people see in my work too, that there's a certain peace that we can find in nature. And I think a lot of people, especially in urban settings, don't get to see that enough. And this is a wonderful thing if you can find that kind of peace. And I just don't choose to bring anything human into these paintings. Yeah.
It's like gaining an appreciation for what we have around us and what's there already.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, what impact do you feel humans have had on the natural environment?
Well, it's been challenging, I think, for it's getting to a critical point where, I mean, if you just watch the news right now, all the natural disasters, the weather-wise, right now with the new legislation from the current government, we have a lot of forests and federal lands that are critical to the environment that are just being opened up to be exploited. Vast areas of Alaska and our national forested lands, and that kind of thing. I know in northern Wisconsin, they've just opened up Nicolay Forest, for some mining of some kind. It's just, it's very dangerous because it's not just the U.S., it's the world. That I always picture from outer space this little precious jewel that we are, the earth. It's really delicate. It seems like, oh yes, the rich and the powerful can just keep reaming the earth because it's just so fun for them to, get richer and richer. Maybe I don't quite understand it, but it's we're all here together, and it's going to hurt not only us but them eventually if we don't mind the earth. Then I think that's a really important thing to know.
Absolutely. And I think that's where your artwork comes in, is like it's like a missing piece in the equation. It's that when people see your artwork, it's like you see the beauty and the wonder of this world, and it's like it's right here, and we just have to open our eyes and explore.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yes, for sure.
What relationship would you ideally think that humans should have with the environment?
Well, I would espouse the kind of relationship that Native Americans often have with the environment, that we're caretakers. We need to be caretakers and be responsible that way, not just, like I said, this is not something for exploitation. This is a wonderful thing, and we need to be caretakers.
Absolutely. And in the book,
Yeah.
Braiding Sweetgrass, by Robin Wall Kimmerer, she talks about having a reciprocal relationship with Earth, and I think that's an incredible mindset and topic to learn from.
Yeah, I think the more you see yourself in a tree, it sounds stupid to some people, but if you see, like, we're all the same carbon and the same water that gets recycled over and over, it's us. And if you can see yourself in the animals and the trees, it's really a wonderful gift.
Wow. That's amazing. What power do you see of art to bridge the gap between humans and the earth?
Between humans and the arts.
And the earth?
Oh, the earth? Oh. Oh. I think art is it's a healing factor. And it's also, since ancient times, people have used art in religions, and governments and people of power in one way or another have used art to illustrate stories that they wanted to get across. And in some way, we still are. There are artists who are reflecting their own feelings. There's artists that are of different, there's all, and I respect every kind of artist, but I feel like it's really important in my art that it bridges sort of a gap between the environment and people as far as something you can take home and put on your wall, and it gives back to whoever's seeing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's not just for me. I mean, I create art for me. I have a lot of joy in working with color and making it, but I there's also this other purpose going on there.
That it has
And it's really important.
Like it has a life of its own, and it has its own purpose once it's been created. And
yeah.
what would you say this field of environmental art needs the most right now?
Environmental art. I would say more artists. I would encourage, people to speak out. And if you're an artist, this is the way. We aren't musicians. We aren't making the Bob Dylan songs. We're not the politicians saying things, but we have a voice through our medium. So it's an important thing right now. Yeah.
So you most recently had an exhibition called The Rustle of Leaves and the Murmurs of Moonbeams. Can you tell me more about it?
Oh, it's an exhibit that's on with 22 of my oil paintings of nature. And it's really exciting to see that much of the work on display at once. And I'm just hoping people really enjoy it. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. And where is it? It's at university.
It's at the Steinhauer Trust Gallery in Madison, Wisconsin, and it's in the Arboretum. So it's a real appropriate place for the work. I'm very excited. It's there through August 31st. So
wonderful. What has the state of Wisconsin been for you in your life? Do you see yourself continuing to live in the state, out of the state?
I think I would probably end up living here. You know how you end up somewhere just by happenstance or what job wise or this or that. So I've been here for over 40 years, and I'm familiar with the state, and I just love it. But I kind of love nature everywhere, so I think I could acclimate to pretty much living everywhere. I don't think I'd like to live on the poles or anything like that, because I don't like the cold that much. But this is a wonderful place to live, but I could do my work anywhere, I feel like. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is there a place that you've wanted to explore recently?
Oh my gosh, almost anywhere. Anywhere, really. I love to travel. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are there any artists who inspire you, or are there any people who have been significant in your artistic journey?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. Yes, I have been influenced by a lot of artists, and many of them are also illustrators. I love children's books, and some of the illustrators in that would be Faith Reingold, Clement Moore, and they're artists that tend to have very flat, plain art, and it's very different than my own, but I just love how they speak through their work. Regular artists, I kind of go traditional on that. The romance of N.C. Wyeth's art, it's very big and dramatic and romantic, and then the sensitivity of Mary Cassatt's work. I like David Hockney. Again, he has those flat planes that I love that too. But I just enjoy everybody's work. I try to appreciate, where everybody's at and what they're doing with the artwork, whether they're neo abstract or whatever they're doing. So as far as other influences and things that are important to me art wise, I would say my family and friends, keep me on keel and what I'm doing. I have 3 grown children and a first granddaughter who inspires me to really speak up for women and the future of women in America. And also art-wise, I'm part of a large art community here. The Cedarburg Artists Guild has about 250 artists of every genre, which is really fun. And we all, share artwork and do that kind of thing. And then, of course, book-wise, my partner Barbara and I have worked on several children's books together, and her writing's very inspirational for me. And then I've done a number of other books, but particularly also Sharon Meddy wrote a book called The Great Silent Grandmother Gathering, which was on the American bestseller 50 top bestseller list. And it's a story about grandmothers who cause peace on earth. Within like a week or two, there was war, and the grandmother starts standing out in the squares in the public places so that the soldiers can't fire. They aren't going to fire guns and weapons onto the grandmothers. And so it spreads worldwide, and then no one would fire weapons anymore, and there was peace on earth. So I just think that's a wonderful story. I think it illustrates the power of the individual, which as artists, I think we really have to honor that.
Absolutely. I personally love children's books as well, and I think that the art within them is so inspiring and beautiful, and the message. I think you can read a children's book at any point in your life and be inspired and so enlightened. Do you have any upcoming projects or endeavors?
I don't have any other than what I'm already doing. I'm still really head on into and excited about continuing to illustrate the natural environment. I mean, there's always new clouds and new things of nature that I see that I want to put down on canvas and reflect. And the women, I want to keep going with that series. I want to do 20. I'm on number 8. So I want to keep going with that right now, which is kind of a big project. So
I can imagine, especially with the size of the canvas, I can imagine it's like...
Yeah, they're 4 foot tall canvases. Yeah. So they're big. Yeah, it's fun. I'd like to work even bigger, but I don't know. I'll have to see if I have room for it. I kind of live small.
That makes sense. And then I'd love to ask, what does a day in the life of Ellen Anderson look like?
Oh boy. Well, like I had mentioned, I really can't paint all day. I paint for 3 or 4 hours at a time. And the rest of my day is controlled by wiener dogs. We have 2 ridiculous and embarrassing wiener dogs, and I'm retired from all my day jobs, which I did day jobs and the artwork for many, many years, but I was able to retire. And so, like I had mentioned, we do have this pontoon. So early in the morning, I like to go out on the river if we're able. I paint some, and I like to go visit, places all around, take drives around and see new nature places that we have in the area here. I'm a gardener. We're avid gardeners, and I love to cook. So I have a lot of things going on. Yeah.
Wow. What are some of the fruits or vegetables that you are recently gardening?
We just have peas and tomatoes and green beans growing right now. Oh no, we have garlic, and then we have herbs, chives and oregano and parsley, things like that. But we also have a lot of flowers, perennials that come back every year that we like to grow. With most of our yard are gardens.
Wow. That's
It's fun. Yeah.
And then my last question is, what advice would you give to up-and-coming environmental artists?
Oh, I would like to say that find out what it is that really makes you tick as far as medium, what do you like to work in, and find what you love and enjoy that. And then think about what your message is and how you want to get it out there, and just go for it. It's art. You'll have to go for it. And I think I have the reality of a lot of artists where I was young and I had to work a day job and do art also. But during that time, I mean, I've raised 3 kids and illustrated 15 books at night, and started a greeting card company at the same time, and then eventually transitioned to doing that full time for a while. But just do it. You'll find the time, get that passion, because the environment is an important issue, and find your voice for it. It's an exciting path. It really is.
Well, thank you so much, Ellen. This was incredibly inspiring and so uplifting. And I'd love to ask, where can listeners find you and your work?
The best place would be my website, www.ellenandersonpainting.com.
Perfect.
Paintings.com, yeah.
Perfect. And I'll make sure to link it in the description below.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much. And this was an incredible conversation. And thank you for your time and your perspective. And thank you everyone for listening as well. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach my email at shivanigupta416@gmail.com. And that's all for now. We will see you next time on the Landscapes of Art and Earth.
Thank you so much. Thank you.